Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli, back with another review video, and yes, as I mentioned and teased, hinted in, the last review earlier today, that's right, I'm reviewing, of course, continuing on reviewing the Marvel films, and this time, I'm reviewing, yes, you read the title, from 2007, The Ghost Rider. Now, The Ghost Rider... I actually enjoyed this film. I actually didn't think it was a bad movie. I quite liked it. Well, first off, the story. Oh, okay. So hold on. The story is, years ago, motorcycle stuntman Johnny Blaze, young Johnny Blaze, that is, sold his soul to save the life of a loved one. Now, he transforms into a fiery avenging agent of justice at night, wherever evil roams. As the only one who can walk in both worlds, Johnny is charged by how do you even pronounce his name? Mistopheles? He's basically the devil, I think, yeah. I think so, or maybe, wait a minute. This is confusing me because of the cast. But that doesn't make any sense. Okay, never mind. Himself to destroy Blackheart, played by Wes Bentley, a demon that wants to overthrow the devil, basically, and create a worse hell than the one that currently exists. And directed by Mark Steven Johnson. Now, I think the story was fine. I think the story was not bad, as I said. It has, like any Marvel movie, like this does have a few funny moments here and there. And especially, because, hey, the cast. You've got, of course, Johnny Blaze / Ghost Rider, played by none other than Nicolas Cage. He was an interesting, choice for playing a Marvel hero. And hey, for him playing Ghost Rider, and to think, he was this close to play another well-known comic book hero, which being Superman. But since he never got to be Superman, he wound up playing as a Marvel comic hero, which being Ghost Rider. And I think he was an okay choice a good choice, I should say, for Ghost Rider. Which was really cool. I even saw the behind the scenes. The way they kind of did motion capture on his face, they put black or white makeup on him, and they actually scanned his actual skull, and makes perfect sense, to actually use somebody's actual skull, and because he's Ghost Rider. You get my point. And the rest of the characters, like Johnny Blaze's love interest, and who he had to leave early in the film because when him and her, they were in their early 20s or something, and Roxanne, played by Eva Mendes. Roxanne had an interesting personality, I should say. Yeah, okay, she would be upset and, would not be so sure on Johnny, that kind of stuff. And then there's the caretaker, who turns out is another Ghost Rider, the Skull and Flames of Fire, played by the one and only Sam Elliott. Yeah. And the devil, basically. I think the name is shortened a bit. Mephisto. Mephisto? Am I even saying that right? Maybe. Played by the late legendary actor Peter Fonda. He was okay in this film. It's Peter Fonda. And, coincidentally, he's in another film that has to do with, motorcycles in this, as he was best known being in Easy Rider, and not to mention, around the same time as this, of this film, he made a cameo in Wild Hogs. So that was a nod to him and Easy Rider. So, yeah. So this is his third film that has to do, that involves motorcycles. So, it's true. But I don't think Peter Fonda's character, I'd make his character as not being, say, the main antagonist, but I think it's mutual for this character, he's still the devil, and, he offered Johnny a deal, but basically the deal was to save his father, because he wasn't doing so well, and, once the deal was made, his father started feeling better. But after a horrific motorcycle accident and with fire and such, his father got killed. And, after making the deal and Johnny selling his soul, what happens next? His father dies in an accident. Young Ghost Rider was played by Matt Long. I know him. I think I recognize the face. And young Roxanne was played by Rigel Elise. I think I said the name right. Maybe. Some of the other cast of characters. There was Mac. I think, he was he was alongside with Johnny Blaze. That had to do with, Johnny's career of motorcycling, and played by Donald, I think the D, there's no D, Logue. Hope I said the full name right. And Blackheart, the main villain of this film, played by Wes Bentley. Yeah, he was pretty intimidating and quite scary at times. He's actually, he's the son of Peter Fonda's character. Some of the, also, I remember, because with Johnny's, motorcycle stunts, him, I know one good one, and, it's so intense. At first, he was going to do it with trucks in a football stadium. Yeah. And, but then Johnny changed it to freaking helicopters, because apparently his dad always wanted to do that with helicopters. And thus, Johnny, did that with helicopters, and he made it. And then that's when, after he made that stunt, he made it successfely, he ran off on his motorcycle to catch up with Roxanne. And, Roxanne gave him another chance, and they would have dinner at a hotel that she was staying at, and, Johnny is running a bit late, and he's just staring himself in the mirror, talking to himself, and while she's at that restaurant at the hotel, at one point she brings out her 8-ball, magic ball. Why does she have that? What's the purpose? I don't know. It's never established, but who cares? I think that's Roxanne for you, definitely. And as I mentioned, her interesting personality. So, anyways, again, some intense scenes and scary moments, and not to mention that, Blackheart and the minions, killing people and, taking their souls or whatever, and, basically, making them, decompose or whatever the heck it is, and even when Johnny comes face to face with those who are evil, there's one guy who has this girl, in a corner of a wall, and actually, and the girl in the alley. And I didn't realize this until, I looked it up while I was watching the film. That's Rebel Wilson, a young Rebel Wilson. She makes a cameo as Girl in the Alley being, cornered, etc. And Johnny saves her, and she appears one more time, reporting this to the news and being interviewed by Roxanne, because Roxanne is a news reporter. And even say, eventually, Johnny does tell Roxanne the truth, that he sold his soul to the devil, but of course, at first she doesn't believe her, and he could have shown it to her. He could have shown his ability of turning into a flaming skull, and which technically that would only happen during, nighttime, But the thing is, actually, I think I've come to realize that can only happen when, I guess, evil lurks around. It's near him. And even say at one point, the police, they arrest him. He can't be inside that cage with a bunch of other crooks. But that's when all hell breaks loose. He kind of kills them, I guess, except for one who's innocent, because, he points to him as you, innocent. And he gets a new jacket and with spikes and, all around the jacket, basically. And there are some really cool shots, with, of Ghost Rider, on his motorcycle, and how he's driving up on a building, or even, say, using the whip. Well, it's technically, it's not a whip. It's, it's a whip chain, basically. Ghost Rider's weapon, basically. And even say when he ties it up on a helicopter, and he's telling the helicopter, "You're pissing me off," and the helicopter pilot's okay, I'm sorry. So, Well, that's basically what's happening. The police are just pissing off Ghost Riders. You know, they can't get a hint. But then, of course, eventually, Blackheart kidnaps Roxanne. Blackheart knows that's Ghost Rider's weakness, is Roxanne. And, of course, they come face to face. Blackheart wants the deal, you know, and he gets it. You know, a lot of action going on and all these creepy souls, you know, coming in. And they're basically, like, entering inside Blackheart and making Blackheart more powerful. But, of course, you know, Blackheart is defeated in the end. And, you know, one more, you know, conversation between Peter Fonda and Johnny Blaze. And, yeah, some scenes with Sam Elliott, you know, they were pretty good, and, you know, he was the one that, you know, gave Johnny the deal, and it was actually inside a shovel, basically. And it's really cool. Sam Elliott, his character, the caretaker, who he too's a Ghost Rider, he rides on a horse, and that's really cool. And no, thank you. That's one of that's one of the caretaker's last lines, and that's before Johnny goes off to face off Blackheart one more time to save Roxanne. And apparently, I guess Johnny leaves Roxanne again, but it's not like, say, what happened when they were young, you know, in their I guess in their early, you know, in their teenage years, etc. I guess that technically they are still meant to be. You know, probably so. But even though we don't see Roxanne in Ghost Rider 2, which I will eventually review that, don't worry. Yeah, Ghost Rider, I think, was an okay Marvel film. It may not have been a big success, you know, and not one of the best Marvel films, but I'm sure that, hey, there are people that like this film, and there are people that don't. And hey, I'm one of those people that actually did enjoy this film and like it. And how do I rate Ghost Rider? Good question. Well, you know, just to keep it on the safe side, well, you know, I mean, again, I can't say it's a success or anything, so I'll give it a 7 out of 10. That's about good, don't you think? 7 out of 10 stars. So, oh, sorry, 6 fingers. 7 out of 10 stars for Ghost Rider. And what did you guys think of Ghost Rider? What did you think of my review? Leave comments and give this review a like as always. So with that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Ghost Rider. More reviews coming your way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video/review. And stay tuned later this week, where, of course, we'll be reviewing another, you know, Marvel film and in the MCU, and this time a new face has arrived in the MCU, and, you know, and after when Civil War came out, Benedict Cumberbatch is the new hero in town. You probably know what I'm talking about. Stay tuned for that. Take care, and peace out.